Hello, I'm Ollie and this is CriminOlly, where I talk about crime, pulp, horror, that kind of thing. Today, how I feel about 2024 and what you can look forward to on the channel in 2025. 2024 was a year when I read less, and I've enjoyed reading less. So I still read a bunch of books. As we stand, I'm filming this kind of mid-December, and I have read 263 books so far this year. Last year, at the end of the year, I'd read 387 books, and the year before, 2022, I'd read 300. So I've definitely read less books this year, and that's given me more time for other things. Whilst I don't watch a lot of TV, I've actually watched more TV this year than I have for the last couple of years, probably, and I've actually really enjoyed. That. So yes, it's been a year with slightly less reading for me, but still, the reading I've done, I've really enjoyed. And you will see on the channel next week 4 videos where I focus on the books I've read this year. So a top 10 horror novels or horror books, a top 10 crime books, a top 10 other books, and then a bottom 10. So my least favourite books of the year, or rather maybe the books that disappointed me most this year. So yeah, a year of less reading, but a year where I've really enjoyed the reading that I have done. Talking about the channel then, so as I'm going to do those 4 videos about books, let me focus this video on what's been happening on the channel. So it's been a year of continued steady growth for the channel, which I really appreciate. I'm delighted that people continue to discover the channel and enjoy it. Just hit 40,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is wonderful. A milestone I never thought I'd get even close to. So delighted to have got to 40,000 subscribers. And I think my content, broadly speaking, on the channel has stayed the same as it was really in previous years. So I'm still putting up 5 videos a week, at least one review a week, usually on a Thursday, and then a variety of other things. I think probably the thing that has crept in a bit more in 2024 than in previous years is device reviews, so reviews of e-ink devices. I'd always done that, so one of my early videos that was successful on the channel was a Kindle review, but I've talked more about e-ink devices this year, so both in terms of my desire to move away from the Amazon ecosystem, and the fact that I've given up using my Kindles, and also the fact that a number of different companies have very kindly sent me e-ink devices to look at and review, and I've talked about those on the channel. So that's kind of slightly different from my normal book content, but I think it's still it's still related, isn't it? So hopefully at least some of you enjoy those e-ink reviews as well as the book reviews. In terms of other stuff on the channel then, so I've had a few projects and things like that ongoing this year, as I always do. So I completed my Patricia Highsmith project that I was doing with Anne from the channel, Anne Novella, so reading all of Patricia Highsmith's novels. Now we have still got some short story collections that we haven't read yet, and we may do that in 2025, but we finished reading all of her novels in 2024, and it was a really enjoyable experience. She was an absolutely fantastic writer. Really very talented and great at just creating a sense of uncomfortable suspense. I really enjoyed that Patricia Highsmith read through. In terms of other things, so I don't think I've completed anything else on the channel this year. Actually, no, that's not true. So I completed 2 100 book challenges. So one that I'd started in November 2023, and then the second one that I started almost as soon as I'd finished the first one. Now the first of those 2, and I've talked about this in another video, the first of those 2 I really enjoyed. I almost always really enjoy the 100 book challenge, the Read What You Own challenge. And if you don't know, that's where I read 100 books that I already own before buying any new books. The decision to do it again immediately after finishing one was definitely a mistake. 200 books was just too many to read. I completely take my hat off to Michael K. Vaughan, who's been doing for a while now a 500 book challenge, which seems an insane number. So that's definitely something I won't be doing again. But I have started, as you would have seen in November, the Read What You Own challenge for this year, which will, I hope to complete during the first quarter of 2025. Another challenge that I started this year was the My Novel Life challenge, which was created by Mark Hodder, the author. So this is where you read a book or a novel from every year you've been alive in chronological order. So I haven't made as much progress on that as I would have liked. I was born in 73. I'm about to read the book for 77, so I've only read 3 so far. I think the maths on that is right. But I am really enjoying it, and I will definitely be continuing that next year. And then I've got a couple of like ongoing like reading things where I'm reading a particular author as well. So I've been trying to finish off Stephen King, so read all the books I haven't read by Stephen King. Again, I haven't made quite as much progress as I would have liked on that. But I will be continuing to do it. So I think I've got about 4 or 5 books left to go. So I have read a fair few. I finished the Dark Tower series and did a review video on that, and read Holly and You Like It Darker, as well as at least one other thing. Bag of Bones I read by King as well this year, and enjoyed all of those. And then the other one that I started this year and made very little progress on, although I have read a few books for it, is the Evan Hunter, Ed McBain challenge. So there are a ton of books by Evan Hunter, Ed McBain that I haven't read yet, even though I've read dozens and dozens of books by him. He had such a long career and was so prolific. There are a load under both of those names that I still need to read. So continuing to really enjoy that. He is my favourite author. So it's lovely to still have a decent, back catalogue of books by him to dive into. And if I'm honest, I probably don't want to go too quickly through that challenge, given that Hunter passed away kind of 15, 20 years ago. I don't want to get through what remain of his books too quickly and run out. And then the other thing there has been more of this year on the channel than ever before is sponsored content. So still not a lot by any means, normally only one video every couple of weeks. But I have had a partnership this year with a company who make a reading light, and I've talked about that briefly in a few of my videos. So hopefully people haven't found that too intrusive. It really is a product I believe in. I wouldn't accept a sponsorship deal with a company I didn't think made a great product. So that's kind of 2024 wrapped up. Do look out for those top 10 videos next week. In terms of 2025 then, so some of this is going to be a continuation of things I've just talked about. So I will complete the Read What You Own challenge that I started, and I will no doubt start another Read What You Own challenge in November of 2025. I'm going to continue with the King read through and hopefully finish reading all of the books by him, including anything new he publishes this year. I think there is another Holly Gibney book due to come out in 25. And I'll also continue with the Ed McBain, Evan Hunter read through and My Novel Life, and hopefully make more progress on that. There is a new reading challenge that I'm going to be doing in 2025, which I'm really excited about. I will do a proper video on this probably in January, early January, to announce it formally, if you like. But I'm going to be doing a project with my dad. So I'm going to be doing a buddy reading with my dad project where we buddy read his 12 favourite books. So he sent me a list of his 12 favourite books, many of which surprised me, a couple of which I could have guessed, but a lot of them surprised me. So we're going to be reading one a month together through the course of 2025, and I will give you my thoughts on those as we go. So as I say, I'll do an announcement video probably early in January, talking a bit more about that and telling you what those 12 books are. And then the other thing I might do in 2025 is something I talked about in my 40,000 subscriber Q&A video, is author interviews. So it's something I would really like to do on the channel, but something I'm very nervy about doing because I don't consider myself someone who does that kind of conversational style of interview very well. But I think I'm going to push myself in 2025 and try and do at least a couple of those. So we'll see how that goes on. But aside from that, I think you can expect more of the same from the channel, and hopefully if you've enjoyed the channel in 2024 you'll continue to enjoy it in 2025. So 5 videos a week, at least 1 review a week, and a variety of other bookish content. If there's something in particular that you'd really like to see on the channel, do let me know in the comments what that is, and I'll have a think about it and see if it's something I think I can do. Anyway, hope you found that interesting. I will leave it there and say, as always, thank you very much for watching. Hope you're safe and well out there. Hope you're reading good stuff, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Cheerio.